This week and every week on the media is a labor of love. But this week, it's also a love letter to labor.
They've laid you off 6 months after they've told you that you've joined the family. And it's like your family doesn't have mass layoffs once a year where you evaluate Aunt Susan and decide like, oh, Aunt Susan's fired.
The Great Resignation. The office gets a makeover and sabotage at the plant. On this week's On the Media from WNYC.
Join us for On the Media, Saturday mornings at 7 on KSJE Farmington. KSJE is supported by the Farmington Civic Center, bringing a full slate of entertainment to Farmington and San Juan County. The interactive art of Outrageous, Saturday, May 21st at 7:30 p.m. The Farmington Civic Center, 200 West Arrington in downtown Farmington. Find out more online at fmtn.org/shows or at 505-599-1148.
Hi, I'm Yael Cassander.
And I'm Don Glass.
And we host A Moment of Science.
For more than 20 years, A Moment of Science has been taking an entertaining look at the science behind some of life's most perplexing questions.
In just 2 minutes, you get a look at the fascinating world around us and beyond.
We hope you'll tune in.
For more information about A Moment of Science or to download our latest podcasts, visit us at amomentofscience.org.
Listen weekday afternoons at 5:45 on KSJE. KSJE is supported by the Farmington Civic Center, bringing a full slate of entertainment to Farmington and San Juan County. Billy Bob Thornton and the Boxmasters, Sunday, May 1st at 7:30 p.m. The Farmington Civic Center, 200 West Arrington in downtown Farmington. Find out more online at fmtn.org/shows or at 505-599-1148. KSJE is supported by the Durango Bluegrass Meltdown, April 17th, 18th, and 19th in Durango, Colorado. The Meltdown features walkable indoor venues with Bruce Molsky and Tony Trischka, Special Consensus, Unspoken Tradition and AJ Lee, and Blue Summit. There'll be an old-time barn dance, band contest, workshops, jamming, and bluegrass in downtown bars. Find out more at DurangoMeltdown.com.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Megan Cullop, along here with Scott Michlin.
Good morning, Megan Cullop. Here we are, Friday once again.
It's good.
Is it good?
I like Fridays.
Yeah, well, that's true. I think most of us do like
Yeah.
Fridays, right?
Yeah.
The end of another week, and here we are, and almost the end of another month.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
That I get a little nervous about.
Do ya?
It's going a little fast.
Is it? Yeah, it really is, because here we are, almost end of April. So, yeah, especially my students are really freaking out a little bit.
I bet.
'Cause
They
we have
haven't
like
done
3
anything all
weeks of
semester.
class. They're really
Yeah.
paying attention now.
Now they are. I
Yeah,
know.
they really are. Listening to my every word. And I'm like, wow, that would have been great. We could do that in February, but okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, welcome. You know, it's our Solutions from the Street week, everybody. So we welcome you. We have a great guest this morning who's standing by. And a pretty big problem, though, to talk about, right?
Trash.
Yeah, and trashy people.
Well,
Well, people that leave trash.
people that leave trash.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But that's a big problem, especially here, like in the desert and stuff. I know you like to go out and hike. I like that you like to go out and hike. And so,
I support you.
I do
in your
support you.
endeavors.
That's right.
Yes.
And so, you know, there's nothing worse, though, that you're out enjoying nature and you come across a hill and all of a sudden there's a bunch of junk, trash,
It's
that someone has
awful.
left in the beautiful outdoors of
Yeah.
northwest New Mexico.
It's awful.
And so that is our problem, right?
Yes, that's a big problem.
Big problem, exactly. But we have a solution.
Right, which is
We do.
Alan.
Alan is the solution. That's right. There you go. We've invited Alan Elmore to come into the program in the studio this morning to talk a little bit about trash and illegal dumping on public lands, because Alan is the big supporter, and I would say main supporter of this event coming up tomorrow to clean up one of the great areas that we have here, Chokecherry Canyon. So, Alan Elmore, welcome.
Hey, thank you for having me.
You bet. It's good to have you here. And again, you are, as I mentioned, the big sponsor of the cleanup that's happening. And we see lunch by, and I cut off the rest of it, so I'll
That's
show
all
that in a
right.
minute. But you are providing lunch tomorrow for this whole army of volunteers. But this is an event you've been involved with for years, right?
Right. So I'd say Waste Management is probably the largest sponsor because the value of the dumpsters that they provide is in the thousands of dollars. I coordinate with Waste Management every year, set it up so that we have the dates set up, get the delivery of the dumpsters, then coordinate figuring out how to get lunch, market it, refreshments, prizes, and bags for volunteers.
Right.
So
there you go. But this
more of
year
a
you are providing
coordinator.
lunch.
I am
which
providing
is-
my company's providing
Your
lunch.
company's providing
Yeah.
lunch, which
So-
is substantial, I would think, right?
It's-
Another incentive to get folks out there.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty fancy. We're doing hot dogs.
Okay.
And probably chips.
All right. That's
some-
okay.
Some cookies.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's something, you know.
Maybe a beer.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you-
21 and over.
Right. But there you are. And so, but you've been doing how many years now? Would you say you've been out there?
I think I've been doing it or helping coordinate it for 11 years now.
Okay.
Before that, the Cliffhangers 4-Wheel Drive Club has been putting on this event since forever, the 90s, the 80s, something like that. It wasn't always twice a year. Some years it didn't happen, some years it did, but for the most part, they were the ones putting it on. And then BLM would put it on. Every couple of years, BLM puts on a cleanup out there as well.
Right. Very, very good. We're looking at the poster for our video audiences that you can see. There's Megan with a little ponytail. You can see her out there
I don't
picking
have
up the
enough hair for
trash and others. But tomorrow, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yes.
And you're meeting 2.7 miles north from Pinion Hills Boulevard on the main road there into the Glade.
It is the main road in the Glade. So the location, if you've been out in the Glade, is Brown Springs Campground. Brown Springs Campground is a nice campground that was actually built from our volunteer efforts. So we count volunteer hours when we do this, and we report those to BLM. And the more hours we get, the more money BLM gets to spend on a local level. So they were actually able to pay for that campground and those facilities. So they have a nice campground there. They have a track where kids can learn how to ride dirt bikes or four-wheelers. They have restrooms, and they have pavilions for picnics.
Nice.
We're going to use the pavilions to cook the hot dogs and stuff like that. And but yeah, that was paid for with money from our efforts doing these cleanups as well. So we do count volunteer hours. Now, when we say 8 to 4, though, I want to be clear: if you can only show up from 2 to 3, that's fine. We invite people to come out when they can, if they can.
Right. And you provide, I think, a lot of stuff, the garbage bags or the other stuff, and people just bring a good pair of gloves and they're good to go, right?
We have some gloves even.
Okay.
So we have some gloves to give away. I have trash bags, refreshments, so bottled water.
Nice. I keep interrupting Megan. She's
Sorry.
chomping at the bit to get
No,
ready to ask a question.
Yeah,
here,
well,
probably.
I was just going to ask what kind of trash can we expect? Because that's gotten interesting.
I don't know what to expect. So over the last 5 or 10 years, we've seen a reduction in the trash. I would say over the last 5 years. 5 years ago, we went out and did 2 trash cleanups in 1 year, and we were able to clean up like 25 tons of,
Oh my
of
gosh.
garbage.
25 tons?
25 tons in 2 cleanups.
Right?
But
I know.
the following years, it seemed to go down a little bit. I think we only did 20 tons the next year, and then did fewer than that the year after. But COVID has played a significant role in this. So during COVID, we did do one cleanup out there. We did like a social distancing cleanup where we kept our distance, but we did clean up the Glade. There wasn't much trash. So I don't think people were getting out of their houses to go deliver their trash to
Deliver their trash
nature.
to the Glade. Yeah.
Go drop off their trash in nature. So instead we didn't see a lot of garbage during that time. But I don't know what to expect this year. So people are back out again. People are cleaning up their houses and yards again. People seem to be getting rid of things. And then there's also significant increases in prices to go to the dump. The price of gas has gone up, so driving to the dump is more expensive. I don't know if that's an excuse that people are going to use, but
A bad excuse, but
It's
maybe an excuse.
an excuse.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but the price of going to the dump has gone up significantly in the last couple of years. So I think we're going to see the effect on the Glade there as well.
And you, I think, and others use the Glade a lot for recreation, and so does it ever Do you ever get discouraged when you go out to this place that you cleaned up last year or 6 months ago, and you see it now with new junk
Always
lying around?
Always do. So we do. We have a Jeep and a side-by-side, and we like to go. I like to take the kids hiking and camping out there. There's plenty to do. There's dirt bike trails and mountain bike trails, horseback riding trails, hiking trails. Lots to do. And this is, I mean, one of the big draws in Farmington, whether people who use it or not realize, people come here from all over the place. Like we've helped Canadians come and do guided wheeling here. You know, they come from all over the world to come see Choke Cherry Canyon. It's one of the top four-wheeling destinations in the world.
We don't always realize that, living in our own backyard, that
Yeah.
it's such a destination for some of these visitors.
Yeah, so it is, though, when I go out there, it is depressing to see that we have such a really cool place to live, such a cool place to play, and this is how the local community treats it. So.
Right, which is a problem and disappointing. Always. So,
Yeah.
there you go.
So
Question?
Well,
Yes.
I don't know if I have a question. I have
Okay.
a statement.
All right.
Is that
Well,
okay?
Always.
Well,
why
I
would I
mean,
stop that?
I know. I would just like to say it's a fun event. I've been out there. I was at the COVID social distancing trash pickup, which was huge because it was finally a chance to see people.
At least get outside.
We were
Yeah,
outside
right.
and seeing each other. But I think it's a very easy process. All the stuff is provided. Just show up and pick a spot and walk around. I mean, that's it.
It's fun, and like you said, it's fun too because after a while, we've cleaned up all the obvious piles of garbage. You know, all the stuff that's off the main road, we've cleaned that up. All the little pieces off the side of the main road and the wash, we've hit those. And then you start to hit the side roads, and then those are clean. And then you start to hit the tributaries of the tributaries, the little paths and the little trails, and you really get to kind of explore the canyon. I mean, you get to find some cool stuff out there. There's neat things. There's Indian ruins. There's arches. I mean, there's really cool stuff to see. Neat wildlife. Quite often we do see rattlesnakes in the trash. They like to make the trash homes, so we usually give people a little warning about that before.
Thank you for that.
Before the cleanup. But we've seen big owls and all kinds of creatures out there, so it's pretty neat. And
Right. It is such a cool, it is a unique
Yeah.
area, being so close to town, I think, too. A lot of folks
Right.
are surprised that we have this just a few miles out, literally, from downtown Farmington, really. And so, and a great partnership, I would say, too, with the BLM. They have to really appreciate your efforts of getting these volunteers together to go out and clean this up and keep it in this multi-use area, because I know, as you mentioned, you've got all-wheel drive and ATVs and horseback riders and bikers and, I mean,
Yeah.
hikers. It's really a multi-use area, isn't it?
Right, and we had part of the reason I think Cliffhanger started doing this in the beginning was because of threats to shut down the canyon as a playground because people kept dumping in it, and BLM is limited on the number of employees they have that can get out there and do it themselves. They put on cleanups occasionally, you know, but they're really limited in staff. They've got, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but they have 2 rangers for all of San Juan County BLM land.
Really?
Yes.
I'm not surprised.
They have 2
Wow.
rangers,
But yeah.
and that's hundreds of thousands of acres. I mean,
To
it's-
patrol and to keep track
patrol
of.
and
And
keep
yeah,
track of, and you know, they're watching for dumpers, they're watching for other illegal activity. Lots of illegal activity happens on BLM land, you know, because it's private and secluded, right? So, but they've got 2 guys to keep track of this whole thing, so they can't keep track of the trash.
Right.
It's been difficult for them, and in the past, that's what they wanted to do was just shut it down. We'll just put gates up, let the oil field in and out with a key. Otherwise, this is no longer for public use. That's it. And so, in an effort to fight that, that's what Cliffhangers did, and that's what we're continuing to do. You know, the reason I'm involved in it at all is very selfish reasons.
and that's okay.
Yeah,
I think.
I play out there and I like to see it clean, and so if I can round up a bunch of people to help me clean it up rather than just me going out there with a trash bag, this is a much easier way to get it done. When we're cleaning up 20 tons of garbage out there a year,
Right.
That's not something I'd be able to do on my own. So
Well, sure. But again, selfish or not, you're still putting your money where your mouth is, or your company's money where your
Right.
mouth is,
Right.
to pay for some of this stuff and to help make it happen, because it wouldn't. I think, without someone like you to
Yeah.
put it all together and to talk to Waste Management and the BLM and to coordinate and get this all going. And the message, and I think the broader message too this morning is just public lands in general, right? Because this is the Glade and this is BLM, but unfortunately we see illegal dumping all over San Juan County, unfortunately.
Right. And I mean, hopefully maybe I don't want to be like, maybe I can be an inspiration to others, you know? But
you can
but
be.
But there's other places that other people have to be playing or hiking or enjoying in San Juan County, and I know there's places that are more trashed than this is now. This used to be one of the trashier places in San Juan County, but it's not anymore. There's areas outside of near Aztec ruins that are, I mean, just awful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just refrigerators and appliances everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a question. So
Yes.
when you find a refrigerator or an appliance, what do you do?
Well, you have that app now, fortunately. So that's the big move. San Juan County has an app, and it's called Cleanup San Juan County.
I'll tell you in 1 second as soon as I get the picture up here.
Cleanup San Juan.
There you go.
So you can download the Cleanup San Juan app on your iPhone or Google Play Store. And the app is really pretty cool. It's very simple. So you sign into the app, one-time sign in, and then anytime you see any sort of garbage, you take a picture of it, it pinpoints your location, and you send it to the county. And it's
GPS,
reported.
right?
So smart.
Right?
So smart.
It's been very effective.
Wow.
And I just had some guests from the county on my program yesterday here on KSJE, and they were talking about that, once you do that, then there's actually a way, I think, to track the progress of the cleanup of that site that you reported through
Right.
the county's website, and so you can actually see, when folks get out there to pick up the old refrigerator or whatever it is that you
Yeah.
reported.
Wow.
Some of the difficulty that they run into is, for instance, the Glade Run recreation area. It's very checkerboard, private property and public property. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the entrance to the Glade there and or Chokecherry Canyon is owned by the city of Albuquerque, and then
Oh.
the next big chunk of land is the city of Bernalillo owns it.
Really?
Yes. So in New Mexico, this is you
Wow.
in New Mexico. It's very interesting. You buy washes for water rights. So basically, they're buying that
Oh,
wash so that
interesting.
downriver at some point they can grab water out of the river.
I see. That's
I
interesting.
see.
Explaining why they would buy property here.
That's
Yeah.
why.
But that's it, and especially property you can't really do much with if it's going to flood
Yep.
once in a while.
So if you report garbage on private property there in the canyon or wherever, and all of New Mexico is all of San Juan County is kind of checkerboarded like that. Reservation and public
Right.
land, private land. It literally looks like a chessboard in some situations. They can't technically clean up garbage that's not on public land or county land.
Right. But they could reach out to that property owner then, right?
They
To
can.
approach them and say, hey, you just need to sign this waiver, I guess, that allows us to come on your property to clean up this refrigerator that Megan Cullup reported, and
I
we
think
can
that's
take care
quite
of
often
it.
what they do.
Yeah. So that's how it can work. But yeah, really interesting. And again, kudos to the county for coming up with the app. Again, it works on iPhones, it works on Android phones. It's free to download. And if you're a person that spends a lot of time out, hiking or biking or whatever, and see some of this stuff, really, they made it pretty simple, I think, just
It's
to
very
report
simple.
this in and then send all the necessary geotagging location information with that report. So then the cleanup folks know exactly where to go. So you don't have to say the third wash from the stop sign past the
Right.
dead cow, whatever. Yeah.
Maybe we'll find a dead cow tomorrow.
The thing about dead cows is it is legal to dump animal carcasses on BLM land.
Really?
Yes.
I'm learning so much.
Right. See?
So much.
So, and
Well,
that's
now when you have a dead cow, you'll know where to take it.
In my ranch that I own.
that's the one.
Yes.
That's the one thing
How
we do.
interesting.
We don't clean up animal carcasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can report it.
We can. Well, and nobody's going to clean it up though.
I guess not. It's just, that's organic, right? They'll take care of it.
The coyotes will take care of it. The birds will take care of it.
Yeah.
And I've seen
Circle
a
of
deer
life, kids.
carcass go from
Sorry.
Are you going to start singing?
No.
I hope so.
Nobody wants
Oh
that
my
one.
God.
Thank you.
I've seen a deer carcass disappear in about 2 weeks out there. So
Not surprised.
Yeah.
Right. Not surprised. So that's interesting, but that is what happens. I wanted to share, I did pull a couple of pictures from Facebook, because that's where we can find pictures these days of some of this stuff. And this is I think the sheriff's office was out doing a cleanup maybe last summer, and just showing kind of the before and after pictures of some of these spots out in the county. I don't think this was in the Glade necessarily, but again, just with some of their volunteers.
No, that looks like it's by Twin Peaks.
Okay.
Like across the road from it.
There you go. That's right. Maybe in the Kirtland area.
Yep.
That
Towards
area.
Kirtland.
Right. Just some of the stuff, mattresses.
Yep.
I guess are a
We
big
find those a lot.
illegal dumping thing that you see. Tires.
Yep. A lot of tires
Out there. Again, this is what makes up that 20 tons plus that you guys pick up every year, every time. And you do this twice a year, right? Just to be clear. So it's 20 tons every time.
No, that was the year total.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 10 tons.
10 tons.
That's still a lot.
Only 10 tons.
Only 10 tons of
gosh.
junk and trash
Yeah.
and things along that line. But yeah, but there it is.
One thing I want to speak about, if it's okay, since I have a moment, is yard waste.
Sure.
And people think, you know what? I'll just take out yard waste, rocks or tree branches, stuff like that, grass clippings, because they're biodegradable. They're organic material, right? But not all organic material just disappears out there. That yard waste sits out there in piles for years and years. And I always ask people if I've caught people dumping their yard waste out there before, and I've just asked them a simple question. I've been like, "Why don't you just dump this in your front yard?" And they'll go, "Well, because it's ugly." Well, that's my point. It's ugly here. It's ugly in your yard. It's ugly here. Take it to the dump. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take it to a transfer station.
Exactly. That's the way to do it. Or
It is.
start a mulch pile in your yard
In
or
your own
something
yard.
if you want to do that.
Or just dump it in your own yard.
Right.
See how see
how
how
that
pretty
looks.
it is.
Yeah.
See how that looks.
Yeah, very true. And that is illegal to do.
It is illegal
Right.
to dump yard waste, just as illegal as trash. So you'll get the same fines, which I believe is $1,000.
Okay.
So
And-
little expensive to dump some grass clippings out in the canyon.
Right. And that does happen from time to time, right? If somebody dumps some garbage and there's a piece of mail or a bill or something in that the
Yep.
folks will look it up and go to that address and contact that person, won't they, to see?
So typically, if we find a dump spot with an address on it or a name on it, we leave it alone, and we call the sheriff's department at that point.
Right.
And the sheriff's department will come out, take pictures, contact that person to come clean up the dump site. They send them a ticket. If that person doesn't clean up that dump site within X amount of days, they get a second ticket. I believe after 2 tickets, you're facing jail time for not cleaning up your own dump.
Right.
So
So don't ignore it.
don't ignore
I
it.
guess if you get a little note from the sheriff's office, that would be a good thing. But
Yep. It'd be a stupid reason to go to jail.
Right, right, very much so. So
Yep.
interesting. Well, I think it's a great solution to this problem. I wish we didn't have this problem.
Me too.
Because we live in a beautiful place, and it's something that we're not alone in either. I know they have the same issues in Colorado, and I mean
Right.
everywhere throughout the West and the East. We shouldn't just blame the West. I mean, I think the East can get kind of trashy
The
too
East
from
can
time to time.
Well, the East is very trashy in general, but it's a little, I mean, there's not as much public land.
There's
in the
not as much
East.
public land.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Right.
not as much
I think
public
that's the
land.
thing we're facing
Yeah.
here is that we have these big spaces.
Yes.
Sure.
So you can go anywhere and dump trash.
Right, and that's maybe a little harder to do in the East
Yes.
Coast. You know, a lot of
Yeah.
people watching your every move, kind of a thing. But I think folks should be aware of what's going on. Efforts like yours to get out there and do a massive cleanup. And again, this area, can't say enough about the Glade area of how much it means to this San Juan County as we talk about outdoor recreation and this other potential economic development and things along that line. I mean, this all goes hand in hand with all these other things we hear about day in, day out.
Yep.
So,
We do. We have some prizes at the end of the day. Do I have a second?
yes, you do the
So
prizes.
we give out raffle tickets throughout the day for dumps of trash or loads of trash brought in, depending on the size of the trash, how many raffle tickets you get each time. We have prizes. We have prizes for kids separately. Then we have adult prizes, including gift cards and stuff like that. But Mesa Sand and Gravel, Mesa Barbershop, both donated prizes. Nate Duckett and Janice Giacchino both donated some great prizes. We've got concert tickets and all kinds of cool stuff. So I don't think that should be a reason for coming, but it's a little bonus. Makes it a little bit more fun.
Right. Another incentive,
Another incentive.
like the beer for over 21.
Yep.
Right. So
There
there's
you
that
go.
too. Some people have, we all have our own incentives, don't we?
We do have all our own incentives.
That's
Yep.
right. Alan can check the box
Yes.
with all of us. So there you go. It is the Chokecherry Canyon Glade Rec area, a big cleanup event coming up tomorrow 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And again, you can come and go. If you don't have all day, you can show up at 8 and leave at 9 and put in an hour and help a little bit as much as you can.
Helps quite a bit.
Right. And this is an all ages event, right? I mean, there's
My kids have been out here since they were babies. So
I like that. Child labor.
child labor.
It's the way to do it.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes. So there you are. But they can feel good about helping to keep this area great when they go back out on their bikes and their ATVs and enjoy it with Dad.
Absolutely.
So there is all that. Megan,
Yes.
I know you go biking every
I run
day.
in the Glade.
Do you? That's right, you
3
do.
days a week, and then I hike in the Glade
That's
all the time.
why you're late
and-
getting here.
Late? I mean, am I here when the
You're
mics
here.
turn on?
You are here. That's true. Technically,
Yes.
you are here when the mics go on.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
But yeah, no, it's one place I go in particular always has plastic bags and things like that, so you're always trying to clean up where you can. But
Right. So great effort, Alan.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Because I know, again, you've been involved with this
Thanks for having me.
years and
I
years and
appreciate it.
years, and it's really important to folks to keep it clean and be able to enjoy it. And it's unfortunate you have to keep going back year after year, but hopefully one of these years maybe you won't have as much to clean up.
That'd be nice.
Next, but there you go. But that's what's happening. Again, it is happening tomorrow. Lunch is provided, so if you're there around lunchtime, you can enjoy lunch. And it's happening again 2.7 miles north from Pinion Hills Boulevard. There in the Glade Recreation Area, and again, that location is known as the
Brown Springs Campground.
Okay, that's what it's called. So there you go. Perfect. Alan, thanks for coming in. I'll give you. Do you mind if we give your phone number on the radio?
That's
We're
fine.
showing it on the
Oh, no,
screen.
it's fine.
So there
I
you
put
go.
it everywhere.
You can give Alan a call. Yeah, it's on the side of trucks and everything. So
Yeah.
you can really, you
just
know.
call Alan
Yeah,
for
that's
whatever your need is.
Exactly. 505-686-3831 is for a radio audience. 505-686-3831 if you'd like more information. But again, this is happening tomorrow, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And again, big thanks to Waste Management for putting the dumpsters out there. And they'll come and collect the 10 tons of whatever you collect after the day tomorrow.
Yep.
So, wonderful. Another great solution, Megan
Another
Cullo.
great solution.
Right?
Solution makers.
Yeah.
That's what we like.
That is what we like.
So, if you have a problem and a solution, please let us know so we can interview these folks on the air.
Yeah.
Send us an email, ksje@sanjuancollege.edu.
There you go.
And
There might be problems we are not aware of.
there's plenty of problems we're not aware of as
Well,
well.
I know about your problems.
Yeah.
But the community
we
problems.
are aware of each other's problems,
Yes,
but
there are
maybe
many.
the broader community.
Exactly.
So, yeah, let us know because we'd love to showcase these folks and
Exactly.
get some information out there to the community on how we can help. And
Right. We'll celebrate these great solutions
Yes.
that are coming from the community, right? These
Yes.
grassroots efforts to
Yes.
solve these problems facing our community. So
Yes.
give us an email or you can call, but ksje@sanjuancollege.edu.
There you go.
That's how you do it. Next week,
We have, that's interesting.
it is interesting.
It is interesting.
Every other week. So
That's interesting.
We're here Fridays. It's either a Solutions from the Street week or a That's Interesting week. And That's Interesting is the newest show.
It's
It'll
brand
be
new.
the third episode
It's
next week.
Pretty crazy.
Number 3.
So
So what is that show all about for
Well,
folks who haven't been tuning
it's
in?
about whatever's on your mind that's interesting, really. So
It is.
we encourage callers. We can always, there's always something on our minds, but it's really
Yes.
fun to hear from you guys. So anything that's interesting that you've come across, read, or you're thinking, or what's going on,
You can call in.
Call in.
We open the phones, and it really is a free-form program.
It is.
It goes wherever
Gets a little risky.
the callers want to take
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
But we open the phone lines Friday, 8 to 9, and whatever's interesting in your world is interesting to us.
That's
Right?
so sweet.
Well,
I'm going to go with yes,
okay.
but
I'm sure there are things that are going on in your world that are interesting, Megan Cullo.
there's plenty of things.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we may talk about some next week.
Yeah, could
So-
be.
So there you go. Alan, same thing. Lots of interesting things.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sure. You could fill a whole show about real estate if you
That
wanted
would
to.
be interesting.
Isn't it, right?
Yes.
So maybe next week we'll talk about who knows.
Who knows?
But there you go. All right. Well, everyone, that is our program for today. We thank you for tuning in and share this program, of course, on social media. If you think it has a good message, we do. And we certainly want to get the word out. Ellen Elmore, thank you for coming in. We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate you and your
Thank you for
efforts
having me again.
in the community. You bet. Great to have you here, as always. So thanks so much. And until next week, we will see you back here, everyone, for That's Interesting on KSJE. Have a good week. Bye-bye. KSJE is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, a community-owned and operated hospital. Here for you when you need us. From From emergency care to routine checkups and screenings, caregivers are here and ready to provide the safe, high-quality care you need close to home. Online at sanjuanregional.com with the latest health information and resources to help you live life better here. KSJE is proud to support Riverfest, Memorial Day weekend, May 27th, 28th, and 29th on the banks of the Animas River in Farmington. Enjoy all-day music, food, beer gardens, vendors, crafts and raft rides, the recycled art show, and the plein air painters. Riverfest, a jolt-worthy event, proudly hosted by the River Reach Foundation, sponsored in part by the City of Farmington and the Farmington Convention and Visitors Bureau. Find out more at riverfestnewmexico.com. KSJE and San Juan College present the Student Success Coaching Tip of the Week. Week 13, Review and Reorganize. Whether you're using a notebook, a laptop, or a good old-fashioned flashcard, reviewing each line of your notes helps ensure that you hit all the right information you reviewed in class, and might even remind you of a few things you would have missed otherwise. It's good to review notes shortly after class, and then again a few days later. This allows you to take a break between edits and come back to the information with a fresh perspective. The Student Success Coaching Tip of the Week, presented by KSJE and the Student Achievement Center at San Juan College. KSJE is supported by the Durango Bluegrass Meltdown,